afternoon, I guess it is. It's no longer morning. I usually do eat at the same times. I'm a little late today because my kids took off, so I've been just a lot slower. When they're around, you gotta rush all the time, right? Well, no need to rush today, so I've been taking my time, but you should still be consistent on the times that you do eat. That way your body is, it's a machine basically. You have to keep it in rhythm, and that way it knows what's going on and it prompts you, same time, same thing. It knows what it needs, it tells you, and you're on point. Well, I wanted to just kind of experiment today and make something together that we could just kind of hang out together and kind of figure out macros and things like that. Let me go turn on another light. Here we go. Plus I did my makeup today, so I thought I'd cook all zhuzhed up today. All right, well, I saw these bruschettas that had some ricotta cheese. I've never had ricotta cheese, at least not that I know of. I mean, maybe I had it in a dessert or something. So I didn't know what it was necessarily, like what it would taste like. It seems to have a lot of fat, but it also has some protein. So we're gonna kind of screw around, see how we can kind of zhuzh it to be a little more macro-friendly instead of just a bunch of cheese and a bunch of honey and all that. So we've got a low-carb bread, one of those Nature's Own no sugar breads. So in this, there's 50 calories, and in those 50 calories, there are 10 carbs. So we already have 10 carbs in here. Now, if we're gonna use strawberries, there's gonna be carbs in there, so we have to be mindful of that. And there's carbs in this cheese. A lot of cheese, a lot of milk has carbs and sugars. So we have to be mindful of that, and fats. You can find a lot of stuff without fat now, but you have to be aware of what. Always read the labels. Always read the labels, always have a calculator, always know what you are putting into your body. So I wanted to extend, because that's something that I do. I take what I want, I like, or whatever, and I extend it with something that's healthier. And I was trying to think of this because it only has 5 grams of protein, and I need a lot more than that. So that's for a 1/4 cup. So I've got these other cheeses. I have feta, but it's kind of a more pungent situation. So I'm wondering if that would work. And then we have cottage cheese, but then that has carbs. So we already have carbs with our bread and our strawberry. We're gonna be adding honey. So I'm thinking we're gonna probably have to stay to the feta. So we'll see how that works. We're gonna be adding honey anyways, and it's kind of like one of those charcuterie boards. You have the pungent cheeses with the strawberries and with the honey, so that might still taste pretty good. So we're gonna experiment. I've got the toast that I'm gonna do. I've got the ricotta cheese, and I've got some feta, and then we're gonna have some strawberries and some honey and vinaigrette. And then once we develop this recipe or idea, the next time will be easier for us to just go, okay, this goes together, done. But sometimes you just need to experiment. So I'm gonna experiment a little bit and get in and out of the video and go from there. So it seems that if I go with the full amount of the ricotta that has 5 grams of protein and the full amount of the feta, which has 7, and whatever the bread has, we get to like 15 grams of protein. You need a little more than that, but at least we know we're kind of already hitting towards that area. Carb-wise, like I said, that has 10, and this has 4, so that's 14 right there. So already kind of hitting that as well. And then we're gonna be doing strawberries. And then it has 4 grams of fat. So we can either cut it to be extended with other things or leave it as is. I think I'm gonna leave it as is because I wanna try the ricotta and I want it to be my main taste because it seems like it's sweet, or at least pretty bland. It doesn't have like much of a taste at all. So whatever I add to it, I don't think should change it very much. And then we're gonna be adding the honey. So that's gonna be carbs. So fat we're done with. It seems like carbs we're pretty much done with. The only thing to add is protein. And the only thing that I can think of to add more protein would either be more cheese, without adding carbs or fat, would either be more of this feta or some protein powder. I don't think I want to use protein powder. Eggs are another thing you can add that are all protein, you know, meat, things like that, but that's not what I'm going for. So I guess we're gonna just go with more cheese. And I just remembered I have more feta. So let's see if I have enough. So some of these recipes call for the strawberries to have some herbs in them anyways, and I have the Mediterranean herb feta. So I think that should work. That ought to taste pretty good. So I'm gonna get the serving of ricotta, which is a 1/4 cup. And I have my spoons over here because I make coffee during the weekend. And I will drink that, but we have that. Okay, so I've got 2 little bowls because I'm gonna put the ricotta cheese in there. So we're gonna go ahead and add for the 70 on that. Grab me a paper towel so that I can wipe and not put bacteria back into my milk stuff. I've never had this ricotta stuff before. It looks interesting. I've made things that are supposed to taste like ricotta, so I've taken cottage cheese and added lemon and orange peel, and that has tasted amazing. So like I have a cannoli dip that I do. Ooh, that is good stuff. Okay. Oh, that's pretty good. That's like super mild. That's like drinking almost like sweetened milk. That's different. Okay, so we've got that. A little gelatinous. It's like gelatinous, but not. Like once you move it around, it's not. I like that. But of course it has a lot of fat, so that's probably what I'm liking. You know, that texture in your mouth. Sometimes you can imitate that texture with some xanthan gum, just FYI. All right, so let's see here. 1/4 cup of this is 30 calories for the feta, but I'm gonna just use a 1/4 cup. Let's see if I have enough of that. So 30 plus, seems like I do. And remember to read the labels, because sometimes they're measured out by, you know, 1/4 cups, or sometimes they're measured out by weight. And so just be aware of what you are doing. So we have the ricotta, or the feta, and I'm going to mix that probably in a blender. But before I do that, let me look to see what it kind of looks like. Looks like you add some lemon and some honey and thyme. All right, well, let's try adding a little bit of lemon and honey. So to add honey, we're going to have just a 1/4 cup, or 1/4 cup, not a 1/4 cup, oh my goodness, a 1/4 teaspoon of honey. Let's start with that. That would be 5.8 calories, because we took it's a tablespoon for 70 calories. We divide it into 3 tablespoons, and then the 3 tablespoons into 4. And we have a 1/4 cup, or a 1/4 teaspoon of what that would be for this. So we'll take that. I'm wondering if the ricotta will be liquidy enough for it to blend without needing water. So in that we have the 5 of protein and 7. So 5 plus 7 is 12. Let's add another. Let's see if we have another I don't think we have a quarter cup. So let's add some of this. This is going to be another 6 grams of protein. That's 6. That'll hit my protein goals. So this one is based off of weight. So 1 ounce will be 35. So I've got my little measuring thing here. So we'll measure out an ounce. Nope, I had just hit it. There we go. So that's going to be 35 calories. They made this nutrition fact teeny weeny. All right. So we add that to our cheese here. And I'm going to whip that up and toast my toast. So I am going to add a little water to get that going. And so that I can sweeten it a little more. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add some lemon. That'll give it some liquid too. So a little water, a little bit of lemon juice. So since we're going to add a little lemon, we're going to add that to our calories. Just like 3 calories for a little bit of lemon. And then we'll add a little lemon zest. That ought to taste really good. Strawberries and lemon with sweetness. It smells pretty good. Flip my toast. I'm going to get this other type of honey that is not actually honey, that you can use a little more of per calorie wise. So it's called 0 sugar honey. And I don't use it too much because honey has good benefits anyways, but sometimes when you want to extend it, you find other things that you can extend with. So this one's 15 calories for a tablespoon versus 70 calories for real honey. But again, real honey has benefits to it. And it's not much of a change on the carbs. Oh yeah, it is. 6, no, they're about the same. 16 and 17. But the sugars are what is different on them. I might have to remake my toast. I burned it. I think we'll wait on the toast after we get this done. So I'm gonna go with maybe another quarter, or maybe let's go with half. So let's see, if we have 15 for a tablespoon and we divide that by 3, that would be 5. Divided by 2, because we're going to use half, is going to be 2.5. So we add that as well, plus 2.5. So we're going to have half. This is really stuck. There we go. Half. And it smells just like honey. A teaspoon. And that will extend way further in sweetness versus calories. Onto our thing. And then it had some spices on there, so let's see what kind of spices they have. Lemon zest and thyme. I mean, I have fresh thyme. Let's use it. A little bit of fresh thyme that I keep in my freezer. So this is just me being like OCD, but I just add a little something for the thyme. Time is not free, my friends. Okay, so let's whip this up again. Would have probably whipped easier with the cottage cheese because it's more liquidy. But again, we don't want the carbs because we're already needing that. Okay, let's check this out. It's getting there. I think it still needs more sweetness, so I'm just gonna go for some stevia drops. And I think the reason it's not sweet is because of that feta. So we're gonna have to adjust for that. So a couple drops of that. And we'll whip it again. I'm gonna add just a teeny tiny bit of water because it is not being able to blend, but I don't want it to be watery because I want it to be like spreadable cheese, you know. It'll get there. Where is the damn thing? 15 divided by 3 divided by 2 plus 2.5. Ooh. Where are my strawberry things? Where's that? Am I paused or am I recording? I think I'm recording. Well, while that microwaves, we can just kind of clean up a little bit. My little xanthan gum away. Now again, just a few seconds. Let's see. So just barely any. Oh yeah, look at that. That made it pretty nice. They already smell. Oh yeah. Nice and sweet. Oh, that's gonna be good. That is surprisingly good. All right. So we already hit 140 or 244 calories. Well, I need a lot more than that. What else can I add to this? So if I need to add extra calories, I'm going to add fiber. So I'm adding mini cucumber, which is 8 calories, and protein. So I'm going to add some turkey that I can have on the side, plus it'll bulk up my meal. I'm only going to have half of the serving size of that, which is 1 ounce. 2 ounces would be 50 calories. 1 ounce will be just 25, so that I don't surpass my thing. And then I'll have 10 more calories to play with. So 1 tablespoon of that fat-free cottage cheese will give me the 10 calories, and it's adding more protein. And it'll probably make my stuff a little more spreadable as well. So, so let me zhuzh this up a little. And we'll start making our plate. I think I'm gonna top it with a little mint and a little basil. Okay, you know, adding a little dash of salt to this brought out the sweetness even more. I would probably say to mix with cottage cheese, but then you're gonna be carb high. Look at that, it's nice and spreadable. So, this turned out okay. I think once we put the strawberries on there, it will definitely be better. But it does have that tang from the feta. Not bad though, just like like eating cheese. If you want that just ricotta taste, that's gonna be totally different. That's gonna be super sweet. That almost tasted just like cream. I get a bunch. So I think what I'm gonna do is have my toast. I'm gonna have my cake and eat it too. I'm gonna have my strawberries on my toast. Nice and cute. Oh yeah, this is looking yummy. And I'm gonna drizzle it with some of that balsamic stuff that is in here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add that remainder of that stuff to the bowl with my strawberries. And I can eat that on its own, mixed up in there. So let me plate that up. Okay, so what do we got? So we've got this whole meal here that got bigger and bigger the more we added, right? We've met our protein, we've met our carbs, we've met our fat, and we got to experiment. So this is the leftover stuff, and we're gonna give this toast a try. I'm gonna cut it in half. Nice and crunchy. Back here, cucumber. Okay, cheers. I'm gonna try this out. The strawberry did pick up where we left off. With the mint on top, you can smell it before you eat it. This is actually pretty good. So I think the only thing I want to add is just a teeny bit of sugar, the stevia stuff, on those strawberries. Let's see. The mint really does it. This turned out pretty good. Who would have thunk it? And I'm gonna have a little orange flavored water. That'll work too. So it's sweet and savory. With the, I think I would not use feta next time, but it's not bad. It's just like more savory than dessert-like. So it's kind of like Italianish, I guess you would say. The mint really does it for it. And we have the turkey, we've got the cucumber. That was our main thing that I wanted to try. By itself, it's really good too, because you're getting that vinaigrette, so it sweetens it up even more. And it has that depth of that feta in there. I wonder if adding a little bit of truffle, we're gonna go crazy. Let's see what that is. So let's see if adding just a little truffle, little umami onto this, what that does. Just a little. It's not wanting to come out. There we go. No, don't do that. So don't do that. It's fine as it is. So you've got the vinaigrette. It's kind of like having wine with cheese, I guess is kind of what I would explain it as. Like a red wine because of those strawberries. And it's sweet because of the honey and because of the strawberries. And the vinaigrette is the little tang in the back. It's creamy. I would probably sweeten it up a little more. See if that would help. But I don't think you want to sweeten it up too much because I think that's kind of like what you're going for is not sweet. Oh yeah. That'll do it. So a little more sweetness and you are good to go. So that's what I'll do. I'll just add a little drizzle of this vanilla Torani stuff. Try that on my toast. Now we got it. The pungent to sweet was not equalized. We are good to go now. That's good now. Very good. Well, the main thing was to experiment, try something new, stay within our macros. And for next time, we know just to sweeten it up a little more and it'll be a lot faster. And I still get to have all this food. So we still get to eat a lot. We get to experiment and enjoy. And that's actually pretty good. Try it out, experiment, stay within your macros. Make sure you read the labels and have some fun cooking and enjoying and staying fit. It's fun. It's fun to experiment, create. Once you create it, you just recreate it. It's a lot easier at that point. But today we were experimenting. Thank you for coming. Thank you for experimenting with me. Thank you for checking it out, and I hope you enjoy.